Hello, mathematicians. I'm going to take just a brief moment here to talk a little bit about recursive sequences and recursive formulas and what they kind of look like. So let's begin by recalling that a recursive formula is one that uses past values of itself to solve a problem. And the most famous one, of course, is the Fibonacci sequence. So whenever you're dealing with a recursive formula, you have to start with some base case, some starting value that you just assume to be true. So let's start with this. Let's say a sub 0 is 0, and that a sub 1 is 1. And now we can build up our recursive formula. In this case, we're going to say that a sub n is the sum of the previous two. So how do we get the previous element? Well, that's going to be a sub n minus 1. And what was the one before that? Well, it was a sub n minus 2. Now that we have this recursive formula, how can we find the next element in the sequence? Well, the next element would be a sub 2, which we could find by saying a sub 2 minus 1 plus a sub 2 minus 2. If we plug these, if we were to solve these little subproblems here, we'd have a sub 1 plus a sub 0. Now if we substitute in a sub 1, because we know what a sub 1 is, a sub 1 is 1, we can then say it's just 1 plus a sub 0. Well, it's a sub 0. We know what that is. We defined it up here. A sub 0 is 0. So now we have 1 plus 0 is 1. Let's find the next item in the Fibonacci sequence. A sub 3. So that would be a sub 2 plus a sub 1. I went ahead and skipped over the arithmetic down here in the parts here. But what is a sub 2? Well, we know what that is. We just found it. A sub 2 is 1. So now we have 1 plus a sub 1. Well, a sub 1 was defined up here to be 1. The next item in the Fibonacci sequence would be 2. Let's do one more. Let's say we have a sub 4. Well, what is a sub 4? That would be a sub 3 plus a sub 2. A sub 3, we just found that. That was 2. And a sub 2, we already found that. It was 1. So it's just 2 plus 1, which is 3. So this interpretation of the sequence would start with 0, 1, because that's what we defined it with. That's what we started at. It was 0 and 1. And then the next one we found was 1, and then 2, and then 3, and so on. Let's try a more advanced sequence. We still have to start with a base case. So I'm going to say up here, I don't know. Let's try a sub 0 is going to start with a 3. Nothing special about this. I'm picking numbers at random here. We could say a sub n is defined as a sub n minus 1. So the last thing, plus 5. That can be our recursive formula. So we can start to build up what our formula needs to be. So let's try a sub 1. What would be a sub 1 minus 1 plus 5. 1 minus 1 is just 0. A sub 0 plus 5. Well, now we can ask, well, what's a sub 0? Well, we know what that is. It's 3. We know it's 3 because we said it was 3. We defined it. There's nothing special about it. We just picked. Other problems, that'll probably be given to you, but since we're making this up, we get to say it's 3. So then we have 3 plus 5, which is simply 8. Let's solve for the next item in our sequence. We have a sub 2 is a sub 1. Again, I'm just simplifying this step a little bit. Plus 5. What's a sub 1? We just found that. That was 8. We have 8 plus 5, which is 13. Let's try a harder one. This one's a little bit more difficult. Let's do a sub 4. What's difficult about a sub 4 is we need to know a sub 3. And we don't know what a sub 3 is. But we do know how to find a sub 3. A sub 3 is just a sub 2 plus 5. We know what a sub 2 is. A sub 2 was 13. A sub 2 was 13 plus 5 plus 5. And now we can solve this. Simple arithmetic at this point. 13 plus 5, that would be 18. Plus 5 more would give us 23. So we have this sequence that starts off with 3 and adds 5 each time. So 3, 8, 13, and 23, and so on. So that is how we can do recursive sequences using recursive formulas. Remember, those are formulas that refer to previous elements in the sequence. If you have any further questions, please send me an email. I'm more than happy to work out some more problems and explain things in a little bit more detail in a more one-on-one sort of settings. Thank you for watching.